All right, gang. So this will be video number 3 on our 9-4 notes. Just gonna be a real quick one here. We're gonna do example 4, which is like your word problem on Math Excel. The steps are almost identical, so this should be helpful on your, like I said, on your word problem on Math Excel. All right, so this is just a word problem, obviously, and it says you are constructing a frame for the rectangular photo shown. You want the frame to be the same width all the way around, and the total area to be 315 square inches. You can always tell, like, when a problem's made up for a math book, because nobody's ever like, I want my frame to be 315 square inches, but it's kind of funny. Kind of funny how they put these together. But anyways, this is how we would set it up. So it says, what should the outer dimensions be? So basically they want me to solve for x, right? So so what is x? So that's x, that's x, that's x, and that's x. So our dimensions of kind of the frame itself are going to be, my length would be, well, we have 17, and then we have x plus x, so 17 plus 2x units, or inches, right? And then my width would be, it says 11 plus x, so 11 plus 2x. All right, so then area, as always, is length times width, right? So let's go ahead and work that part out. So so if we plug in length and width, we'd have 17. Actually, let's write that in standard form when we write it down, just so it looks more normal. So let's write it as 2x plus 17 times 2x plus 11. All right, so, you know, distribute the 2x first, and we would get 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times 11 is plus 22x. Then the 17 times 2x is going to be plus 34x. And 17 times 11 is, I'm going to have to peek at my cheat sheet for that one, 187. All right, so all together then we have an expression that represents the area of our frame that in simplified form is 4x squared, and then 22 plus 34, because those are like terms, would be 56x, so plus 56x plus 187. Okay, so that again is my expression for area. All right, so now we're going to take that and set it equal to the area, right? So that's equal to area. So that's going to be what our equation looks like, all right? So we're going to go, you know, 4x squared plus 56x plus 187. And we set that equal to 315. I'll give you a chance to get caught up. So let's say we wanted to solve this. Can anybody tell me why at this point, and you might have to look at the above example, why could we not type in, like to Desmos, 4x squared plus 56x plus 187? What's the problem with the way my equation's set up? Anybody see it? Look on your sheet. Do you see what we did in example 3? What would we have to do first? It's always got to be set equal to what? 0, right? So what we'd need to do is we'd need to move this term over to have it in standard form, right? So we're going to rewrite this as 4x squared plus 56x. Those things don't change. And then 187 minus 315. 187 minus 315 would give us minus 128, or negative 128. And then we have it set equal to 0. Now we can look at factoring, or we could cheat it and type it into Desmos, right? Either way would work. Since this is the factoring lesson, I'll go ahead and factor it. It's a lot easier than it looks initially, and I think this will happen on your Math Excel problem. Anything, does anybody see anything that would make my factoring work a lot easier? Yes? You can divide everything by 4, right? There's a GCF there of 4. So watch what happens when we do that. We end up with, here's the key, 1x squared, right? So that makes life a lot easier. Plus, you know, whatever. That would be 14x and minus 32. All right, so now we can factor what's in the parentheses pretty easily. Bless you. So you guys be thinking about it. What's gonna multiply to negative 32? There aren't that many factors that make negative 32, and add to positive 14. See if you can come up with that for me. Adds to negative, or sorry, multiplies to negative 32, adds to positive 14. Yes? Yeah, very good. 16 and negative 2. So plus 16, x plus 16 is one of our factors. Our other one is x minus 2. Now, as far as using the zero product property to solve these, we pretty much can ignore the 4, right? Because it doesn't have a variable. So we just really are looking at our 2 linear factors with the variable. So we're looking at that guy and that guy as far as what our solutions are going to be, right? So the first one, x minus 16 set equal to 0, would give me x equals, would it be 16 or negative 16? Negative, good. And then we also get x equals, what we get there? 2, thank you. All right, now on the word problem, here's the last piece, okay? You can only enter one of those 2 answers because only one of them makes sense, all right? So if we're talking real life here, and if we're talking about a dimension, would x be negative 16 inches, or would x be positive 2 inches? Positive 2. Negative doesn't make sense, or it's, you know, you could say it's not a viable solution. So in this case, this is not viable because distance can't be measured in negatives. So x equals 2, right? So if we plug in 2 for x, then we can get our length and width. So overall then, once I know that, then I kind of have my length would be 17 plus 2 times 2. So 17 plus 4 would be 21 inches. And then width is going to be 11 plus 2 times 2. So 11 plus 4 would give me 15 inches. So those are my dimensions. That's kind of the final answer to the question. 15 inches by 21 inches. Obviously, that's a lot of steps, so I would assume that you guys would want to see maybe 1 or 2 of those worked out on the board, and that's fine if you do. But if you can follow those steps, that's basically how your problem will be, okay? All right, so that's the next thing, and I'll go ahead and end the recording there. So if you guys want to look back at that, it'll be you know, up on Google Classroom like normal. But the next thing will be, we'll have some work time for Math Excel. So if you guys want to get to that, I don't mind if you take